Here we go. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by patrons like Kenneth Gagnon. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get exclusive rewards at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. We'll name that patron. Not Citron. Patron. There we go. Type that all kinds of wrong. All right, we'll go back. And this is Saturday's episode. Shoot. Okay, so I have to look at... Oh, I gotta make sure... I'm not sure if I need to do this ad or not. Oh, I need to add sweaters versus socks. Splatfest here. Where's my news? Splatfest, sweaters, v socks, and when is that? 12/15. That's cool. I like that as a Splatfest. All right, and then I've forgotten what I was doing. What was I doing? Yes, I am going to talk about the DLC. I think I put it in... No, I did not. Oh, that's a good one, Joel. That is a really good one. All right. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I had to look at my... I have to look and see when this episode... If this is the third episode. Sorry for the confusion. I just forgotten something. Because I wasn't planning on recording today. Because I have friends coming over tonight. And we're gonna be playing board games, and I was thinking, oh, I'll just record tomorrow, but tomorrow is jam-packed, nonstop craziness. So just let me put in my password here. Don't look at my password, you guys. I can't believe you're trying to look. What is your problem? Okay, see activity. Okay, that was on the 17th. So now I need to look at a calendar. November 17th. So the 17th I did it, the 18th, the 25th, and the 2nd. Okay, no second ad, or no ad today. All right. You know, I am going to do an ad, but it's going to be super fast. It's just going to be for OP Seats and Audible. Switchcraft number 119 is actually brought to you by a lot more than just one patron. There's a lot of patrons over there, and they're all really awesome. And I just want to take a moment to address some change that happened on the Patreon, or not the Patreon, but on Patreon as a website. I just want to address this Patreon issue. For those of you that don't know, Patreon recently made a change to the way that they collect money from patrons. I want to make sure that anyone that doesn't like what Patreon is doing here, if you decide to stop pledging, I 100% support that decision. I feel like Patreon's made a big mistake here. What they've done is they basically have added a per pledge charge. So now a $1 a month pledge, it now costs the patron an additional 35 cents and 2.9% on top of that. Now, if it's a $2 a month pledge, it costs an additional 35 cents plus 2.9%. So it's not 35 cents per dollar, it's just 35 cents per charge. Now, this really disproportionately damages the smaller backers for any Patreon. For instance, if you're somebody who backs 3 or 4 different Patreons, then you're going to get charged that 35 cents each time that you do so. And the reason that Patreon is doing this, they're doing this mainly to obviously make more money. But the main reason is they're trying to combat their credit card fees that they have to pay on all of these dollar charges. Now, what they used to do is they would pass that burden along to the Patreon owner or the creator. So I used to pay that fee, and now they've taken it away, the ability for me to pay that fee and forcibly put it on you, the listener and the supporter. I wouldn't pay that 35% or 35-cent fee at each Patreon that I went to, and I don't expect any of you to do so either. Like I said, this change disproportionately damages smaller backers for any Patreon. I personally hope that no one feels any obligation to continue on Patreon if it isn't in your best interests. But I want to say that, and I've seen a lot of people leave the Patreon because of this. Like I didn't even really realize what was happening the other day, and I looked at my Patreon and I had like 5 or 6 people who left, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I must have said something horrible that I wasn't even thinking of. And then I reached out to one of them that I kind of knew pretty well, and they explained what was going on, and I was like, oh God, I had no idea that that's what was happening. So I completely understand if people want to cancel their Patreon pledge. I just hope that if you do, you remain part of this community, regardless of how you support, or if you don't support at all. If you just listen, that is enough. I do not do this for the money. I do this because I like to talk about video games. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's one of my favorite things to do is to play video games, and I love to talk about them. And I think that if you've been around here long enough, you'll know that that's where I'm coming from. In fact, I never put the Patreon up until somebody asked me to do so. So putting in chat says, at RJS, can we donate to you directly via PayPal? You can, if that's what you want to do. And that is paypal.me/runjumpstomp or paypal.me/runjumpstomp. And that goes directly to me. I mean, there's a fee there too, but I pay that fee. At least I believe I'm the one that pays that fee, not you. So if you want to cancel the Patreon, and I know this is a bunch of stuff at the beginning, but if you want to cancel the Patreon, I completely understand and support that. And I think that Patreon's done a big mistake here because they're driving away a majority of the money that they're going to be getting, because a lot of people are getting their support through small donations, not big ones. Man, that went on longer than I thought it was going to. All right. Kodiak, that's a great idea. Make sure it's not on a timer, just a command. If that makes sense. Aren't there links into Discord from Patreon? The only thing, TF Wagner, that is connected between Patreon and Discord is just the ability to join that Patreon only channel. And to be honest, nobody ever really uses that channel. When you look at my Patreon, I set it up in such a way that everybody got every reward. If my horrible sketches are a reward, access to that channel, no matter what level that they pledged at, because I didn't make the Patreon just to make money. I made it because people asked me to, because they wanted to support my work. So I just put that there so that everyone was always equal, no matter how much that they pledge. I did that because I know that people pledge based on what's going on with them, not what rewards they were getting, if that makes any sense. So if you want to cancel your, and I responded to what you said on Patreon as well. If you want to cancel your Patreon, I totally understand that. It's really not going to have a very big effect on you and how you interact with the community. Res TV, the big Patreon users were complaining about losing thousands of fees. This isn't a solution that works for the little guy. No, what I'm saying is not a solution that works for the little guy, and I'm a little guy. You know, the big guys are going to be the ones that are going to lose like crazy amounts of money. But I've never made money doing what I do here. And I'm going to take off this hat because I think it's been 5 minutes and I'm hot. But I never made money at this. This is something I do for fun. Thank you, Vaxxer, that you like my horrible sketches. Right, Airsley, I totally agree with you, and I agree with Rez that the 35 per transaction is a mistake because they only charge you once. Maybe Patreon will change, but in the meantime, people are leaving my Patreon like crazy, and you know what? If that's what they have to do, then that's what they have to do because you vote with your wallet. And if that means that people aren't going to use the Patreon, then so be it. It's not a big source of income for me. The arcade in the background was a $60 investment. My cat is much smaller than he used to be because we put him on a diet. Oh, I understand what you're saying, Rez. I mean, in the end, yes, the creator will get more money, but there's a lot of people who are leaving. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying, Rez. Yeah, it's bad for people like me. Thank you, Kodiak, for making that. Yeah, it looks good, man. Maybe he's been using the Russian pain machine over there. Oh yeah, the one flaw with that is I don't like the word donate. Thank you. Oh, you figured it out just exactly like I did. Yeah, I don't like the word donate. Donation is something you do for charity. A tip is something you do as a gratuity. All right, let's get to the feedback. Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern on Tuesday, Thursday, and on Saturday, and whatever time the universe allows. That's totally a lie this week because I recorded Tuesday's episode on Monday, and now it's Friday, and I'm recording Saturday's episode. I'm still doing it live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp, but with the holidays shuffling everything around, it's really tough for me to keep the exact schedule. However, I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that I get 3 episodes out every single week. If you go to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and hang out there, you're going to find some fantastic people there. Scrolling back up to the top, we were talking quite a bit here, so there's a bunch to scroll through. We've got Vaxxer is here, Kodiak Moonwolf, Airslea, Link 31254. I like Jet Ski is here as well. Pudding is here. I like that. I like pudding. There's always room for pudding. Let's see. Anything else? Joel Mead is here. TF Wagner is also here. Resd TV is here as well. And I'm scrolling. I think that I've got everybody. I could be wrong. I said TF Wagner. Oh, I think I already said that. Dang it. Reading these names is tough. Anyway, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. They're not the only people here. Make sure that you are aware that if you're a lurker, I appreciate you too. Let's talk about the feedback from all of you. I've gotten a review on iTunes. They said, I listen to many Switch podcasts, and they are all good, but I find myself consistently listening to all of yours, no matter the subject, while skipping many from the other guys. You give concise, honest opinions, which have led me to trying out some games that I may not have considered. The length of each episode is perfect. It's not bogged down by trying to hit the hour mark like some others. My only gripe is I wish you had daily shows, because 3 a week isn't enough for me. Being a dad of 3 young kids and having a full-time job takes a lot of my time away from hobbies, as you can relate. So I commend you for finding the time to share with us all. And now I need to find out who said that. That was Bingo Bango 21. Oh, my wife is calling. Be right back. And that was from Bingo Bango 21 from the US on iTunes. Thank you very much for the review. I appreciate that. Reviewing the show definitely helps. We've got over 100 reviews on iTunes now, which is pretty great for a podcast of my size. So I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you guys for the support. I also received an email. If you want to email the show, you can do so at runjumpstomp@gmail.com. This one reads, Hey, Bill, how's it going? I just heard your last show when you were recommending games to the dude that asked you that question. You are right. You cannot talk to people. However, like your son, my daughter is into Minecraft. I'm not sure how old your son is, but my daughter is 8. My son is 9, by the way. And a while back, she was playing Minecraft online. Well, in that game, you can write on signs, and that's how people communicate what to do. Well, this one time, my daughter was playing in tablet mode, sitting next to me, and she was telling me and my wife playful things someone was saying, when all of a sudden she said, What the heck is this person just asked me to have sex? My reaction was to just took it off of her or away from her. And I said, for now, Minecraft is only on TV mode. I was looking for a way to complain like in Splatoon, but I couldn't find one. The other interesting thing, I'm sorry, this is a few typos on here. My guess is they typed this from their phone. The other thing interesting is I have the parent app and put restrictions on games above 9 for when she plays. Well, long story short, apparently Minecraft age recommends over 14, so I had to lift that. Keep up the good show. Thank you very much for the email. This is really weird to me because when I was playing, like my son and I each have Minecraft on our Switches, and we were sitting there playing, and I joined his place, and we're walking around, and he's showing me stuff that he had built. And I said, well, what's this sign that says censored mean? And he goes, there's no sign there that says censored. It says, I don't know, like throne room or something. I can't remember exactly what it says. But when I looked at the sign, it said censored. Like I couldn't read what he had written on the sign. So I booted up Minecraft the other day, and I'm looking through it when I got your email, and I'm looking through it, and I could not find the setting to censor signs online. Now, I'm not sure if that is something that is done at the system level or not. It just occurred to me that maybe it's in the Nintendo parental controls app. So I'm opening that right now while I'm responding to this, and I'm looking at No, that's not it. That's not the settings. Console settings. So I'm looking at his console settings, and under restriction level. Here we go. So under restriction level, you can go down on the bottom. It says communicating with others. I have mine as restricted, and posting to social media is restricted. So that might be why that happened with me. So instead of just restricting the software, you can also restrict communication. And I think that will clear up the way that people can communicate her through the signs. There's, unfortunately, unless you have more than one switch, there's no way to test it for sure, but hopefully that will help. Anyway, thank you very much for emailing. Again, that's runjumpstomp@gmail.com. Other ways to get a hold of me is at runjumpstomp on Twitter. 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867 to call and leave a voicemail. And, of course, you can join the Discord at runjumpstomp.com/Discord and communicate with us there. We have a wonderful community of fantastic people that are just waiting to hear from you. Name, feedback. Yeah, Kappa is a Twitch thing. It means it's lighthearted trolling, basically. So, like, what would be perfect is if every time that Vaxxer is up to his shenanigans and I hit this button for him.
Let's get one thing straight, all right? You're a jerk.
It would be wonderful if Kappa like showed up on the screen, because I don't really mean he's a jerk. We poke fun at each other. You know what I mean? All right, let's go back. You know what? Let's save what we've got so far. Save project. Okay. And we're on... No, I don't want to save project. I want to... No, yeah, wait. Okay, I almost screwed up big time. So, desktop. There we go. That's where I always save this. SC119. What? Vaxxer, I said that you're not a jerk. I specifically said you're not a jerk. Hey, Arslia, welcome back. All right. Well, the last episode was yesterday, so we don't have a ton of news to talk about because right now it's Friday, and I had an episode on Thursday. Remember, I'm recording the episode. You know what? I don't need to go over that again. I said at the beginning I'm recording the episode early, didn't I? Well, because I'm recording the episode early, the last episode was yesterday, so not a whole lot of news has happened since then, so I don't have a lot of news to talk about. That's okay. I need it to be a short show. I've got people coming over. So let's talk about the Game Awards, because that happened yesterday after I recorded the episode. And, you know, I said that I've said for a long time that Game Award shows have traditionally been fairly condescending, almost as if it was a bunch of old guys in a boardroom and they're like, what are those nerds like? Let's give them some of that stuff. And it always felt like I was being talked down to, and I didn't really like that. I was fully expecting to see that with the Game Awards this year, and I didn't see that. I was really impressed. I felt like that they did a really great job, and I am now looking forward to watching the Game Awards every year if they continue to treat it with the respect that games deserve. That being said, everything wasn't wonderful. There was that one, I think a Brazilian guy or Italian guy. I can't remember what country he's from, but he was talking about his game A Way Out. And, you know, he was, you know, saying pretty ridiculous things. If I were in charge of the Game Awards, I certainly wouldn't invite that guy back. You know, that was the one mar on otherwise a really good show. But, you know, let's talk about Nintendo. So Nintendo was there, as I expected that they would be. They did make a few announcements, and I want to talk about those. But before we get to those announcements, first off, I want to talk about what they won, because Nintendo came away with they made out pretty well at the Game Awards this year. So let's start with Zelda. It won Game of the Year. It won Best Direction, which I'm sure that it deserved, but as somebody who is just a gamer, I don't really know what that means. Like, I know a game director is in charge of the game, but what does that mean for game direction? I'm not really sure. They also won Best Action Adventure Game. Mario won Best Family Game, and I think it definitely deserved that, but at the same time, I feel like Best Family Game, it's not really a family game because the family can't play it together. That's my one gripe with it. I feel like Mario definitely deserved to win some stuff, but Best Family Game doesn't make sense to me. Just because it's not a game where you're playing with lots of people. At most, you're playing with 2 people. Mario plus Rabbids won Best Strategy Game, which it definitely deserved. I feel like that is a fantastic example of a strategy game, and I can't wait to play the versus mode in the future. I'm really looking forward to that. Nintendo won Best Studio, which is great, and then Metroid won Best Handheld. So they came away with quite a few awards, and I think that Nintendo did a great job. Let's talk about the announcements that they had. Zelda DLC. They announced it finally. Like I said, expect them to give a date. And I even said it would be wonderful if they said, and it's available now, or and it's available tomorrow. And if I didn't say that on the podcast, I definitely said it on the stream at some point. And that's what they did. And I'm so excited. Unfortunately, I can't play it right now. I don't have time. I just don't have time to play it. So I like that they did that. That's a very good hype moment. It's always awesome when somebody can go out there and drop the mic like that. And then they showed the trailer for the game, or for the DLC, and the trailer looks great. And then at the end, it was great. I hosted the Game Awards on my channel so that people could watch it without the ridiculous chat going by. And like I didn't even miss it. I must have been on a delay or something, because I was listening to the awards and doing something else, and I saw out of the corner of my eye Wyvern Ripsnarl, he's a staple in our Discord. He's almost always there. He goes, "Whoa, today?" And I looked over and I was like, "Wait, what's today? What's today?" And then he goes, "A motorcycle." And if you didn't watch the the video, at the end of the announcement, Link drives on this motorcycle, and they're like, all of the other champions have a divine beast. I guess this is Link's divine beast. It's his motorcycle. And I guess basically if you finish all of the DLC, you get this cool motorcycle, which is weird. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. There are machines in the game, so I guess that's okay. It's just really, really strange. And the motorcycle does not look like Link's motorcycle from, I almost called it Smash Kart, from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It looks like its own thing. It looks like it's built out of Guardian parts, and it still kind of looks like a horse a little bit. I totally see this as being DLC for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, I think that later on next year, we're going to be getting DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it is going to include this motorcycle as part of it. So I'm sure that we'll also get some new characters. Maybe Zelda will join. That would be great. Maybe Samus will join, and we'll truly be getting the Smash Kart that people keep clamoring for. But I expect that we're going to see some Mario Odyssey related courses, some Zelda Breath of the Wild related courses, and some vehicles that are related to the big games from Nintendo from 2017. I think that that's really going to be cool. Let's see, what else did they talk about there? As far as the Game Awards go, two changes that I personally think that they should make is get rid of the best esports game. I don't like that as a category because that's like saying football is better than basketball. And they're both great for their own reasons. You can't really compare one to the other because they're so different. They're not even really the same genre. Like most esports games are not the same genre. That's like saying, okay, first-person shooters are better than MOBAs. That doesn't make sense because different people like different things. I don't like the category of esports game. I also didn't like the category of best esports team. That's like saying the New York Giants are better than the Chicago Bulls. There's really no way for you to compare them. It doesn't make sense. So I didn't like that. And, but at the same time, I don't look at esports as a term that I really like. I prefer competitive multiplayer games instead of calling it esports because I don't think of it as an athletic thing. Not that what they're doing is easy because it's not. The people who play those games at a high and competitive level, they are definitely very, very skilled and talented individuals who work very hard at what they do, many, many hours in the day. But it's not sports. It's video games. And so I think it's a bit of a misnomer. And I've said this on other shows before myself. Yeah, Joel Mead says, I'm impressed you know those two teams are in different sports. I don't like to watch sports. I like to play them for me. I like to go out and play basketball. I like to play football. I like to play it. I don't like watching it. I find watching it to be boring for me. Anyway, that's beside the point. It's just a couple of points that I wanted to add about the Game Awards. But overall, I feel like the Game Awards were really, really great. And I'm looking forward to playing it next time. Putting in chat says, how can you know if a League of Legends player is a better gamer than a CSGO player? You can't. You can't take Michael Jordan and put him on a baseball team. Oh, wait, you can because he tried that. So, you know what? He didn't do too well on the baseball team, but that's okay. All right, let's move on. And what else do we have on here? I'm gonna get rid of the cuts today just because there's so few different stories. Outlast 1 and 2 has been announced. This is via Facebook. They announced that they are bringing both of those games to the Switch. Now, Outlast is supposed to be a horror game. My thoughts about this are that I don't feel like horror games are the best. I don't think that they're not putting their best foot forward by being on the Switch, if that makes sense. The reason why I feel this way is because horror games are best when you are in this solitary experience and nothing else is around. Maybe you've got the lights down low and you've got it on a big TV and you're wearing headphones and you've got it cranked up loud and you can hear the sounds of the whatever it is that's scary in the game. And I think that makes for really, really good gameplay. Whereas playing a quote unquote scary game or a horror game, playing it on a screen as small as the Switch, that just feels like it's going to take the scariness out of the game. And I feel like it's just a mistake. At the same time, the Switch also plugs into a TV. So there you go. If you already have these games, there's absolutely no reason for you to get them on the Switch, because one of the reasons that I say, I want to play that on the Switch, or this game would be perfect on the Switch, is because of the portability, being able to take a game with me when I go someplace. I am not going to play a horror game out in public where somebody, some kid might be walking by and there's a guy walking around with his arm cut off and blood spurting. I don't know. I've not played Outlast. I don't usually play horror games. I just think it's kind of not the best matchup. I want everybody to be able to get these to get the games from the genre of their choice on the Switch. So that's why I support Outlast 1 and 2 coming to the Switch. But it's not something that I say, if you've already got it, then pick it up again, because playing it portably is going to be infinitely better. I really don't think that's true in this case. It's not going to be infinitely better. Link31254 says, when I got Resident Evil on the 3DS, I made a blanket fort for atmosphere. That's awesome. That's really funny. Did you do the same thing, Link, on Resident Evil on the Switch? There's the question, though. All right, the last story of the day is the Splatoon, which, by the way, I got back from my friend. I had loaned it to a friend, and I've been playing it again. And I have to say, the time that I spent playing playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 has increased my skill at Splatoon a lot. I feel like I did a lot better playing it again. But I loaded it up and played it some more. And my God, I forgot how good Splatoon 2 is. It's such a great game. Anyway, why am I talking about it? Well, because on 12/15, that is, I'm clicking on a calendar right now, that is next Friday. So 1 week from today, the 8th, on the 15th of December, there is the next Splatfest, and it is going to be, which Christmas gift do you prefer to receive, sweaters versus socks? And I'm here to tell you, socks are the way I want to go here. Yes, sweaters are bigger. They keep you warm. But I love weird socks. My wife, every year, she gets me weird socks. Like, she'll get a pair of socks with mustaches on them or palm trees or stuff like that. And I'll go to work and I wear, dress pants and a dress shirt or a polo or something like that. And I always wear weird socks and my Chucks. And I just love weird socks. I don't know why, I just do. And ugly sweaters, they are like a 1 day a year kind of thing for me. That's when I wear them, is just 1 day a year. So I very much prefer socks. Joel Mead 24 in chat says, it's 80 degrees at my house today. Do not need more sweaters. I get what you mean. Although it's cold here today, so sweaters would be useful. I'm wearing a hoodie, a shirt, and then another shirt underneath, and I'm still a little chilly today. All right. Well, that is all the time that we have for today. If there's a story that I missed or a topic that you would like discussed, please let me know. If you're looking for ways to support the show, there are a lot of ways that you can, not just Patreon. So if you don't want to, again, just going to revisit what I said at the beginning. If you feel like you're unhappy with the changes that Patreon made, by all means, leave the Patreon. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I might reach out and say, hey, did you leave because of this or because of that? And I'm just curious because I want to make sure that I'm doing everything to give you guys the most entertainment. One easy way to help out is if you are an Amazon Prime member, just link your Twitch account to Amazon Prime, and then you can sub to your favorite streamer. Maybe it's me, maybe it's not. You can also, if you buy a lot of holiday stuff on Amazon, make sure you use my affiliate link. It really, really helps out the show. And you can, of course, buy dock socks and other fabric-related goodies made with Nintendo fabric at my wife's Etsy shop, which is etsy.com/shop/runjumpstomp. All those links can be found at runjumpstomp.com/support. Thank you to Tom Winter and Noteblock for the music at the top and bottom of the show. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here. And next episode will be on Tuesday, but I think I'll be able to stream on Sunday. Maybe I'll be able to stream Zelda. Ooh, we'll see. I guess I'll just name that news because I did it all in one shot. Man, we're all done, which is awesome because because Bravd is going to be here in